Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get this thing to let me watch the race. We are now live. We are following Zyler, and he now has what looks to be like the lead. Right behind him is Hager. He's second. Apparently, it looks like he's got the draft to Zyler. Right behind him is Iredale Slayer. Chipping Shark 98. Or, my bad, Chipping Shark 10. 98 is his card number. He is what you call a conservative driver. He'll save his tires and his fuel. So we might have a battle up here for position. This is Obesity, driver of the number 36. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a playoff race, a cutoff race. 5 drivers are competing for 2 spots. Gump, driver of the number 7 car. Looks like he's got Chipping Shark closing in fast. Watson, driver of the number 54. Looks like he's pulling up the rear. Cowboy Tech, driver of the number 10. He slapped the wall a little bit coming out of turn 2 there. Now keep an eye on anybody coming off of turn 2 later on in the run. People are going to start losing their minds and their cars all at the same time. Turn 2 is no joke. It's a very dangerous turn. This here is Super Soaker, driver of the number 8 car. Looks like he got some company right behind him. To the 22 Ford, which is Demanded Racer. Looking to try and make a move on Soaker. It looks like he's got a little bit of front end damage too. Hood's popped up on the right side a little bit. Soaker looks like he lost a little bit coming off of turn 2. Almost opened up a door for Demanded. And Demanded buried a little bit too much there in turn 3. Silver's going to drive away a little bit here, coming off a 4. Zallard's still out front, leading the pack. Looks like he has a commanding lead. Hager's all by himself, running in second place, it looks like. I can't really tell because there is no scoreboard. Iredale driving the number 1 Pilot Flying J car. American made, with the American flag on the side. Beautiful paint scheme. Looks like he might have a little bit of company coming up on him. And that company just rode the wall a little bit. There's going to drive away just a little bit here. He's holding a good line around turns 1 and 2. On perfect exit. Somebody just hit the wall coming off of 2. What was that? That was Cowboy. Cowboy's creeping on the back door of the number 1 car right now. He's got that draft. I think he might try to make a quick run on here. Going into turn 3. Still got the draft. Oh, he's got a solid exit. He's going to close the gap a little bit. Cowboy buried it into 1. Hit a check up, popped the wall. Went below the primary driving line and pops the wall again coming off of turn 2. It's going to be a long race for these gentlemen. Soker's way back. Something must have happened to him. He's rim riding turn 3 and 4. Almost clipped the wall. And looks like we got a battle between, well, not really the battle. Demanded just went a lap down. Of Zallard is untouched in this race. Soker is currently being chased down by the leader. It's too early, in my opinion. Soker should just let him go. It's too early to fight for a position right now. Going into the stage end, if he's still the last car a lap down, he will get the lucky dog. There's nobody within miles of Hager right now. I think everybody's starting to calm down, starting to run their lines. We battle between the number 1 of Iredale Slayer and the number 10 of Cowboy is still ongoing. Looks like they're about to have some company from Chipping Shark, driver of the number 98. Looks like Iredale came off turn 4 a little slow there. Didn't have a good drive off like Cowboy did. Although Cowboy is right in his tire tracks. Oh, Cowboy got a little loose. Oh, nope. Correction, he's going into the pits. Looks like green flag stops are currently going underway. Looks like we might have a three-way battle here. Number one looks like he's going into the pits. No, he just got a little loose, coming off a 2. And the 36 of obesity will take that position. Now he's chasing down Shark. But Shark can hold a really good line. And it looks like the stage is in. Cars are starting to slow down. And I apologize for coming in late to the race. My controller was messing up. I couldn't catch the beginning of it. And that will conclude stage 1. That or a caution, whichever one. Not real sure, to be honest with you. And the AI of the number 7 is currently losing its mind. These drivers are not in control of their cars. That number 7 just plowed the 98. Honestly, that's pretty interesting. Drivers are putting in their final adjustments to go into stage 1. Zyler lost a ton of spots. And the 98 of Chipping Shark will lead him down into turn 1 for stage 2. Which is followed by Obesity, Super Soaker, wish they would put names on these cars where I can get a score to each and every single one of them. That'd be great. Iredale, Cowboy, Demanded, Zyler, and Watson. Oh, the 19 gets loose coming off of turn 2. He gathered it up, still hanging with the pack. That could have been really bad news for the 19. Still a pretty close battle between all the cars here. Every single one of them fighting for position. We got 5 drivers competing for 2 spots to move on to the next round. This is a cutoff playoff race. Now the number 1 jumps outside, clips the wall a little bit coming up in turn 2. Got the 19 on the inside, 10 pushing him down the stretch. 19 had to check up. The 22 plows the wall, pushing the 10 through. 10 still on the outside of the 19. Number 1 maintains position. 19 pushes the 10 up out of the way a little bit. 1 has a great run on the 8. Looks like he's going to catch the draft coming up in turn 2. He's going to have a good solid run going into turn 3. What will he do with it? Absolutely nothing. He's going to tuck in line. He's looking to the inside and nothing doing. He has to fall back in line. 19's pushing the 1 down the stretch. 19 looking to the inside of the number 1. Falls back in line. Number 1 goes below the preferred driving line. That could have been bad news. The 8, 1, 10, and the 19 are all in a major battle right now. Meanwhile, the 36 of Obesity is currently just leading the pack, and he scrapes the wall going into 1. 98 holding second. Three wide coming up at turn 4. That is bad. I'm sorry, turn 2. Bad idea, gentlemen. But they all held it together. Number 8 backed out of it. Smart move by him. Number 19's on the inside of 1. 10's going to follow suit and nothing doing. He's going to tuck in behind the 1. 19 still side by side with the number 1 going into turn 1. Oh, the 1 clipped the wall a little bit. 19 gets away. 10 ass packs him. Oh, the 8 scrapes the wall coming off of turn 2. The field's starting to spread out amongst the top 3. 19's coming, no. 8 pops the wall in the middle of 3. Looks like he might have buried it a little bit too hard there. The 1 scrapes the wall coming up in turn 4. Oh no, my bad, that was turn 2. These turns all look the same after a while. Drivers are scraping walls coming off the turns here. I'm not sure which one they're coming out of. 10 of the 1 are still in a heated battle. It's just so hard to pass here at Darlington. Just so hard to pass. Well, the 19 got around the 98, I believe. Yep, and now he's chasing down the leader. Now the 98 pops the wall. Opens the door for the number 1. The number 10's looking to the inside of the 98. Gonna be a tough battle. Coming up to turn 4. The high line typically gets the best run coming up to 4. Yeah, they're still side by side. And the 10 will clear the 98. We got a battle for the lead right here. 19 chasing down the 36. 36 goes in way too low, opens the door up for the 19 to get a solid run coming off the turn. And he's just going to tuck in line. '19 still on the back bumper of the 36. 36 will not give it up easy. 19's already locked in. 36 is looking to be locked in, I do believe. Let me double check that real quick. Yes, though, the 36, he's got enough points to carry him into it, providing he finishes within the top 3, maybe even top 4. '36 pops the wall and the 19 follows him right into it. Still a solid battle. 19's just a hell of a driver. I mean, these guys can all drive. Just a great group of guys. Oh, the 36 let off way too much. Gave more than enough time for the 19 to close the gap. The 10 and the 1 are trying to draft up to the front, make this a 4-car battle for the lead. Not sure if they're going to be able to do it, though. Too much of a gap. Looks like maybe a 2-second gap, maybe a second and a half. '19 trying to get that run on the bottom. But the 36 is going to run that high line, get a solid run coming up the corner. Here they come to the stripe to complete another lap. 36 still hanging on to the lead. 19 doesn't look to be near as aggressive as what he was a little bit ago. Let's go see if there's any other battles. Yeah, it looks like 19 is just perfectly content running second right now. Pushing the 36 lap after lap. Trying to widen the gap between second and third place. Uh, 36 checked up a little bit too much and 19 packs him a little bit. Nothing more than a little love tap. 36 maintains position. Edgar's just all by himself. Just cruising. Iredale's got a little gap over the 10 of Cowboy. My apologies, that is Shark, number 98. 10 is in front of Iredale. Looks like they're all just cruising right now. Just trying to finish the stage without any more damage. And God knows every single one of them has damage. Popping walls coming off of turn 2 and turn 4. This track is just so hard to tame that you can't come to this track without leaving some kind of stripe on the wall. I do it all the time every time I come here. Now it looks like the 19 overtook the 36 while we were away. And the 19 gets loose coming up in turn 2. 36 closes the gap significantly. And they both plow the wall. And pretty sure that's a caution. These two were the leaders, and they weren't across the stripe at the time of the slowdown. Well, not gonna lie, that was a pretty eventful however many damn laps. I don't have a lap counter. Here we go again. Come to the stripe. Green flag is out. I'm getting ready. Now it's out. And 36. Not sure what happened there. Somebody dug down. Who is that? That's the number 1 of Iredale, looks like. And there's a pile up in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Zyler takes the lead. And he's got Cowboy Tech coming right up on him. And fast. Here comes a 10. Looking to take the lead away from the 19. 19 will not give it up easy. He will make you work for it every time. Somebody went way below the preferred driver line and shoved somebody into the wall. Who was that? That was Obesity. Looks like he might have lost control a little bit over there. That was an unintentional hit on a chip and start. Number 1 looks like is in for an unscheduled pit stop possibly. Yep, he did not lag out. That was an unscheduled pit stop. He will be going a lap down. Got a pretty close battle for an unknown position because I do not have a position tracker. 22 got a little bit loose. We have a 4-way battle for a single position. 98 is right on the H bumper. We got 4 cars here, bumper to bumper. 8, 98, 9, and the 1. And the 8 gets way too loose coming off of that turn. Tries to blend back up, it did not work. 9 packs the 8, and the 8 goes flying. That should be a caution theoretically, but if I'm not mistaken, they run relaxed cautions. You need more than 1 car to wreck, so that's unfortunately tough luck for the 8 car. Hate that happened to him. Didn't look like the 9 had much time to check up from what I'm seeing on my screen. Now it's a three-way battle for a single position. We got the 98, the 9, and the 1. Looks like the 1's going to start pushing the 9, see if they can catch up to the 98. And here we are again, bumper to bumper, 3 cars. The 1's trying to get that low line to work. It's very hard to do at this track. Nine's being conservative. But that's going to open up the door for the 1. 9's looking to the inside of the 98, going into turn 1. And he takes the position. 98 let him go. That's a great move by the 98. It's too early in the race. There's still a whole nother stage to race. And the 1 is coming up fast on the 98. Trying to catch that draft. So we have another battle coming up between the 9 and the 36. And 98 starting to drive away from the 1 now. Ten's all by himself. 19, or I'm sorry, the 8's all by himself. And the 19's all by himself. That 9's doing everything he can to get up to the 36 car, and he just closed the gap significantly. Looks like the 36 might have popped the wall coming out of that previous turn. And 36 pops the wall again. Looks like he either buried it or his car's too tight. 9 takes the position with ease. Here comes the 98 trying to overtake the position, followed by the 1 car. 36 just lost 3 positions on a single straightaway. Tough break. Now you got 3 cars chasing down a single car. One's looking to the outside of the 98. He's going to try and make it work. Trying to diamond the corner, get a good solid run off the corner, and he does. He's closing the gap. It looks like he entered up that turn a little bit too low. Had to check up a little bit more than what he wanted to. Still made it work though. He made it stick. 98's coming into the pits. And 1 car and the 36 car looked like they tapped the wall in the middle of that turn. 9's still just up there cruising, holding a good solid line. 98 is currently on pit road. 1 and the 36 are still trying to battle it out. Looks like they're just starting to play conservative. Tires might be a little bit too worn too. 7 of Gump is just cruising right now, followed by the 22 of Demanded and the 54 of Watson. The 10 and the 19 are currently just cruising right now. Looks like the field's pretty much spread out a little bit right now. Zylard is entering pit road for a scheduled pit stop. Him and his Turtle Wax car. That Turtle Wax sponsor should be changed to Rabbit Wax, as he is super fast this race. There isn't a single soul around this 98 car. And the 19 is just now getting to his pit stall. And Looks like maybe the 98 just took the lead. Not real sure, to be honest with you. 36 of Obesity has yet to pit, that I know of. The 7 of Gump is now exiting his pit box. I'm sure he got 4 fresh tires and topped off the fuel. Watson, I'm sure, has yet to pit. And 10 of Cowboy is now leaving his pit box. Demanded looks like he might be coming on the pit road. And the 9 just scraped the wall a little bit. And here comes the 1. Trying to track down the 9 car. Oh, 1 looks like he got a little bit loose coming up turn 2 there. There's a couple seams coming up at 2. Your tires catch them, you're going for a ride that you don't want. '98 is currently trying to track down somebody of whom I have no idea right now. 36 of Obesity is just cruising around by himself. Gump is by himself. 54 is by himself. 10 is currently by himself. Super Soaker is trying to track down the car in front of him, which looks to be like Watson, the 54. And it is. Demanded is now coming off of pit road. And the 19 of Zyler is trying to track down Super Soaker, the number 8. And the 19 got loose coming off of that turn. And here comes Hager to his pit box. The field is pretty much all spread out right now. Not much going on. So we're just gonna do a quick crank it up. And that will conclude the stage, as Zyler decides to be a great idea to plow his car into the outside wall. And I do believe that was the end of the race. Never mind. Well, that was interesting. So these are your final results. It looks like OB and Chipping Shark will be moving on, possibly, to the final race of the Championship 4, which will be next week. Unfortunately, I seriously doubt I'll be able to stream it. But you got this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and y'all have a wonderful night.